Viewer beware, you're in for a scare as I bring you along with me on my adventure trying to find the Goosebumps drink from Teaspoon. Teaspoon is a US-based bubble tea franchise that has collaborated with Goosebumps Vanishing, a new limited TV series that's like a family-friendly horror comedy from Hulu and Disney Plus. For the collaboration, they've created the Goosebumps Vanishing Matcha Latte, a matcha latte with black sugar swirls and honey boba, served in a reusable souvenir cup while supplies last. This drink is available at various Teaspoon locations from January 3rd to January 31st, and I needed to get my hands on it. On my quest to try the latte for myself, I drove about an hour to the nearest Teaspoon location, which for me is in Escondido, California.
Prepped and ready to go get our Goosebumps drink.
And they weren't participating. I can't even.
I didn't think to check if they were going to have it because it didn't say that the drink was select locations only or anything like that. But Escondido did not have it. They didn't have any of the souvenir cups. They didn't even get the ingredients to do the drink itself, so I couldn't even get one in a normal cup. They just did not have that because apparently they just soft opened. So it was temporarily defeating, but I did look up. I drove all the way down here. I might as well see where the next location is. So there's another location 13 minutes away in Forest Ranch. I called the location to make sure that they were participating in doing the drink and asked if they had souvenir cups left. And the girl was like, oh yeah, there's plenty. They have a lot left. So we're going to go head out to Forest Ranch to our second Teaspoon location and hope goes better this time.
Thankfully, this location was definitely leaning into the collaboration with a variety of promotional signs around the location. And unrelated, they also had this cute little claw machine, which I did try, although unsuccessfully.
Ignoring how dirty my car is, drinks are acquired. I was the only customer the only time I was there. The cashier was super rad, and I did manage to get my drink. I actually did get two of them. I got one exactly as it comes, and then I also got one made with oat milk and extra sweet, which is more in line with my own personal tastes. So I could get two of the souvenir cups, as well as give you an accurate flavor review for how it comes initially and how you can customize it.
I think aesthetically, they nailed this design. For a collaboration, I think they actually did really lean into it really well, whereas I've seen a lot of other collaborations be super lazy about it. I think this one was so good. The green of the matcha is really giving kind of old school Goosebumps, slimy vibes. You know, the quintessential vibe of Goosebumps, because they were kids' books. They weren't allowed to have blood, but they were allowed to have a lot of slime on the covers. And then the black sugar and boba give it kind of just an ooky spooky sludge kind of vibe. I think aesthetically it's so good.
All right, our first obstacle is that the straw they have available does not fit in the hole, so... All right, we've precariously taken the top off so I can actually get a straw in there and taste it. Obviously, this is a terrible angle, but I don't have a phone mount for my car, so we're suffering. First, we have the top layer, which is a matcha. All right. Very matcha-y, very earthy. I know there are a ton of people who love really earthy flavors. So if that's what you're into, the matcha is definitely good for a matcha flavor. I have personally never really been a fan of matcha, but for people who know what flavor they're getting into, There's definitely that. But then there is whole milk and honey boba at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and give it a good little mixy mix. Ooh. Okay. All right. The matcha mixed in with the milk and with the honey boba specifically, quite delightful. I actually really fuck with that. Which is funny because I'm definitely not personally the biggest boba fan, but the texture of this boba is actually really nice as well. I will definitely happily finish that. And this one, we have the one that is done in my own personal taste, which is with oat milk and extra sweet. And I'm definitely very curious about this one because, like, the standard as is was not unsweet. Like, it was a very, like, nice level of sweet. So I'm curious if this is going to be too much. Okay. Sorry, some of the balls were stuck together. We don't know how fucking annoying that is. That is actually super delightful. I would almost say that the normal sweet one is a little bit more sweet because it does just use regular milk, whereas the oat milk kind of cuts the extra sweet. So, like, if you want a sweet flavored drink, I would definitely do the extra sweet because the oat milk, typically oat milks are a little bit more like neutral to earthy slash bitter tasting if it's not like a flavored one. So I'd say that that combined really well. I do think that this one is giving a little bit more earthy vibes than the other one, but not in a bad way. No, both of those are really good. I would definitely finish both of them.
So the matcha was very earthy, but the milk had a nice subtle sweetness to it, and along with the honey boba that had a really nice natural sweetness to it, but didn't taste overtly like honey, probably due to the like black sugar swirls in it. Overall, when the drink was like all completely mixed together, it had a really delightful natural sweet flavor to it. It definitely was sweet enough for my taste, which definitely leans more towards, you know, sweet versus earthen flavors. But it also didn't taste artificial in any way, which was very, very lovely. And even with the oat milk version, like the oat milk itself made it a little bit more earthly leaning, but then the extra sweet overcompensated. So I'd say both drinks kind of evened out to be pretty similar sweetnesses. I don't think I preferred one over the other, honestly. They were very similar tasting. So if you're looking for a non-dairy option, I definitely would not hesitate to get it with oat milk because they were very similar tasting. I drank the normal one as is like the whole day that I got the actual drinks, and I actually just threw the one with oat milk in the fridge and drank it the next day. So I wasn't too caffeinated for one day. And it stayed just fine. It tasted great the next day. The only difference was the texture of the boba the second day. Whereas like on the first day when you first got the drinks, I thought the surface tension of the boba was really good. It was solid without feeling hard or like especially chewy or squishy. Like it was just a good solid, medium, mid-range kind of surface tension for the boba, whereas left over the next day when it had been left refrigerated overnight, it did make the boba balls harder. So definitely a much less pleasant texture the next day, but overall I think this was such a fun collaboration. Definitely not one that I personally would have like thought to have made or expect from this particular series, but I am very, very glad that they did it. I especially love that they came with the souvenir cups because this is just a super fun little piece to now have in my collection as a 90s kid who loves the nostalgia myself. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. I had a blast hanging out with y'all, and I'll catch you in the next one. I should have said I'll catch y'all on the flip side. That would have been so much more 90s.